Imagine being part of a heist that netted a whopping $9 million in cash, jewels, and securities. That's equivalent to over $60 million today. The United California Bank robbery of 1972 was one of the most daring bank robberies in American history, and it's a story you won't want to miss. The mastermind behind the robbery was a man named Emil Dincio, a professional thief with a passion for planning and precision. Dincio had a reputation for being meticulous, and his team of 6 other robbers were handpicked for their unique skills. But here's the catch. Dincio wasn't just any ordinary thief. He was a former serviceman with a background in engineering. Dincio's plan was to tunnel into the bank's vault from a nearby property, using his engineering skills to navigate the complex network of drainage pipes and sewage tunnels. The team spent months digging and mapping the tunnels, using sophisticated tools and techniques to avoid detection. It was like something out of a movie, except this was real life, and the stakes were much higher. The team used a variety of disguises and fake identities to gather information about the bank's security systems and routines. They posed as construction workers, maintenance personnel, and even bank customers, all the while gathering intel on the bank's weaknesses. It was a clever ruse, and one that would ultimately pay off in a big way. The robbery took place on May 24, 1972, and it was a meticulously planned and executed operation. The team used their tunnel to access the vault, where they found a treasure trove of cash, jewels, and securities. They worked quickly and efficiently, loading the loot into duffel bags and making their escape through the tunnel. But here's the wild part. The team didn't just stop at stealing money and valuables. They also made off with a large quantity of sensitive documents, including financial records and personal information about the bank's customers. It was a bold move, and one that would ultimately lead to their downfall. The FBI was called in to investigate the robbery, and they quickly realized that this was no ordinary heist. The thieves had left behind few clues, but the agents were determined to catch them. They followed a trail of subtle hints and tiny mistakes, and it eventually led them to Dincio and his team. The investigation was a complex and challenging one, with many twists and turns. The agents had to sift through a vast amount of evidence, including eyewitness accounts, surveillance footage, and physical evidence. It was like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but they were determined to solve the case. One of the key breakthroughs in the case came when the FBI discovered a hidden journal belonging to one of the robbers. The journal contained detailed notes and plans for the heist, including maps of the tunnel system and timelines for the robbery. It was a goldmine of information, and it helped the agents to build a strong case against the thieves. The trial of Dincio and his team was a sensational one, with many dramatic twists and turns. The prosecution presented a wealth of evidence, including testimony from eyewitnesses and experts. The defense, on the other hand, argued that the robbers had been unfairly targeted and that the evidence against them was circumstantial. In the end, the jury delivered a guilty verdict, and Dincio and his team were sentenced to lengthy prison terms. The robbery had been a daring and audacious one, but it had ultimately failed. The thieves had underestimated the determination and skill of the FBI, and they had paid the price. The United California Bank robbery of 1972 will always be remembered as one of the most infamous heists in American history. It was a bold and daring crime, but it was also a cautionary tale about the dangers of greed and the importance of justice. And here's the lesson. Crime may pay in the short term, but it never pays in the long term. The robbery also led to significant changes in bank security systems and protocols. Banks began to use more advanced security measures, including alarms, motion detectors, and video surveillance. It was a wake-up call for the banking industry, and one that would help to prevent similar robberies in the future. Today, the United California Bank robbery of 1972 is a fascinating footnote in the history of American crime. It's a reminder that even the most daring and audacious crimes can be solved with determination and skill. And it's a testament to the power of justice, which always ultimately prevails. So the next time you're tempted to take a risk or push the limits, remember the story of Dincio and his team. They thought they could get away with the perfect crime, but they were wrong. And always remember, crime may seem glamorous or exciting, but it's never worth the risk. In conclusion, the United California Bank robbery of 1972 was a daring and infamous heist that will always be remembered as one of the most significant crimes in American history. It's a story of greed, deception, and ultimately, justice. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more money tips and financial insights.